Adam Lerner, BrooklynPhotoWorks.com, and welcome to another Squarespace website portfolio review. And if you would like to have your website reviewed, just go to the link below and submit your website and I will have a look. Also, if you guys are interested in signing up for a really beautiful website, don't forget that if you use the code ADAM, squarespace.com/Adam, when you use the code ADAM at checkout, you will get 10% off of your website. And remember, the first 2 weeks are completely free where you can test out all the functionality. Then when you decide to sign up, just use that code ADAM, boom, 10% off your first year. How cool is that? All right, so today's website comes from a photographer who goes by Village Dog. And there's a story behind it, which is kind of interesting. And I really like the work. I saw that there was tremendous potential in there, and we're going to go through it. We're not going to go through all the work because there's a lot of work on this website. There was a few issues with the website, and I want to address them as we go along because I feel that there's so much potential there and there's so much quality that some of the issues are draining from that quality. So let's go in and have a look. All right, so here we go. We land on Village Dog Photography. We have an interesting portrait of a gal in the water in a dress, making great eye contact, really great facial features, and Village Dog Photography, preserving memory of people and places. All right, you know, it's a concept. I dig that. We got social media links down here. That's cool. Boom, let's enter the site. We enter the site, and I can already tell that it's a Squarespace site because it's got one of those really nice grid themes where you have each individual category from the navigation of the main gallery navigation as its own photographic grid, which is cool because it gives you an idea of what to expect within each gallery, which I think is very cool. Now, what I'm noticing here is that we've got 9 galleries on the front page, and that could be a lot. And if you look here, there's a common theme. There's portraits, couples, weddings, families, promotion artist, promotion business, conceptual, live performance, personal. I almost see this right away as just 3 distinct categories instead of 9. And the reason why I'm saying that is because oftentimes people's attention spans are pretty limited when they're looking on the web. And if you have to do a lot of navigating and a lot of clicking through, that can certainly take away from the experience, or it might turn people off from looking. So let's just pop in there and let's look at portraits. Now, one thing I'm going to say before we get in there is I can tell that this is the same gal. Not a problem, but I think that it could have been more interesting perhaps if there had been a different subject used to differentiate the 2 different gallery front pages. All right, so we'll go in here, and yeah, I mean, look at this, man. Like, beautiful, shallow depth of field, great focus, really nice light, and I dig the processing. I mean, it's very much in that visco kind of filmic look with the grain and the toning, but I dig that. I love that. It has that vintage vibe. This guy looks really freaking cool. He's got the butt going. He's hanging by a tree. Yeah, it's really cool. You know, another good, nice nicely lit portrait, but it might be soft on the focus here. It's hard for me to tell, but I really think that the focus is a little bit soft on the eyes and the face, and that's where we want tack. You know, let's just keep going down here. Here's that same gal again. And I think that we also don't have tack focus on here. That gal again. And some dude. You know, I'm not sure if we've got tack focus on the faces of a lot of these people. Now look, it could be processing. I mean, like this dude, how cool is that? I love this portrait. I think it's fantastic. I love the way the guy's filling the frame. I like the perspective, I like the angle, but again, I'm having difficulty telling whether or not there's tack. Now this is tack as far as I can tell. That looks good, nice and straight on. We do have a tree right behind his head, but it works in the black and white context, although I'm not crazy about, you know, having things coming out of people's heads. Yeah, it's okay. It maybe not as strong as some of the others. I mean, you know, again, this same gal who's got fantastic features, really great eyes, but I don't see the real tack sharp focus here. And that can be a problem. And actually, you know what, that is a problem. Even this here, it seems a little bit off, like it's just not sharpity sharp. Like, look at the eyes here, just not quite sharpity sharp. You know, these are all like, okay, I mean, like, that's a fantastic portrait. That is tack sharp, sharpity sharp. That looks nice and sharp. And again, like, I'm not sitting here trying to like pick these portraits apart. I mean, I like all of these portraits. I like the lighting. I like the tone. I like the expressions that a lot of the subjects are providing for the subject. So yeah, let's just talk about that really quick. Tack sharp, so important, okay? If your portraits are not tack sharp, then there's something that you need to work on. It could be a multitude of different things. Number one, for example, a really good rule of thumb, okay, is if you're shooting with a 50 millimeter lens, you want to be shooting like a 60th of a second or faster. If you're shooting like a 70 to 200 lens, where you've got a ton of glass, which is like very heavy and it's a lot of glass for the light to pass through, you want to be at least 1/250th of a second or greater so that you know that you can freeze that action and so on and so forth. Now, if you're going to be increasing your shutter speed to guarantee that you're getting tack focus and you're losing light because your shutter is going down faster, what are you going to do? Well, you can, if your aperture is wide open, which Village Dog is doing, then you've got to boost your ISO. Now, I know that that means adding noise, but I would much rather see a tack sharp photo with noise than a not sharp photo that didn't have noise, for example. All right, let's get back in there. And let's see, we've got couples. Yeah, these are fine, you know. I mean, I mean, obviously this was a photo shoot that the Village Dog dude did with some people. You know, I'm still seeing like she's not tack. Okay, and you know, look, if you're shooting a couple, like it's different than shooting an individual. If you want both subjects in tack focus, particularly if they're not aligned with each other perfectly, meaning one of them is forward a little bit more than the other one, then you have to change your aperture. So in other words, if this was shot, let's say at f2 or f3 or 3.2, whatever it is, then you need to go up to f4 or something like that, and you need that shutter speed to get tack, and you need to lock your focus point on the face, okay, on the region that you want to be tacked, because the shallower depth of field that you go, the much less latitude that you have. So if things are a little bit out of, you know, alignment as far as that plane goes, like one face is further forward than the other one, then you are not going to have tack focus, and that to me is problematic. But again, you know, there's great framing. I mean, look at how fantastic and how beautiful that is. You know, on this fantastic road, you've got this huge expanse. It's very emotive. This is a great, great expression, really nice, you know, kind of moment, but, you know, I don't know if that's tack focus, and I'm really going to be a pain in the ass about it. Okay, so let's see. You know what, let's just go into one other little issue that I have here. Families. Families. Families, 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 families. Families is not spelled Y-S. Families is I-E-S, okay? Now, guys, again, remember, I am not trying to rip this guy a new one because I think that he's got really terrific work and tremendous potential. But something like that is a little bit of a turnoff. I mean, if I was a potential client and I was going to hire somebody for business and I saw that they had a blatant misspelling on the cover or the landing page of their website, that would be a little bit of a turnoff to me, particularly if I was looking for family photography. I know it's not that huge of a deal, okay? Not everybody aced spelling, and I'm certainly no one to talk. But that, to me, is one of those things that, you know, easy correction, fix it, be done. All right, here we go. We've got promotion artist, promotion business, conceptual, live performance, personal. I kind of feel like we should just have a major reorganization going on over here. We've got portraits and couples. Portraits and couples. Couples and portraits are pretty much the same thing. Promotion artist, promotion business. If these are portraits, these can be also lopped into the same category. I don't necessarily know if there needs to be a distinction, and that there could just be a portrait category. Now, if he wants to distinguish between commercial and personal work, that's one thing, but he does that over here. So if this is considered all to be commercial work, I don't know if we need promotion artists, promotion business. It's just so many categories that it's kind of exhausting. And where he's got conceptual, live performance, and personal, That's all personal work. All of this conceptual stuff is personal work. Live performance is personal work unless the band's specifically hiring you. And personal work is obviously personal work. And we can just kind of quickly go through here. This is a nice, cool photo story. Well done. Here's another kind of an interesting photo story with some details and whatnot. This to me is more of a portrait shoot, what we have here. And that to me is probably one of the strongest of the lot. And just looking at these offhand, I love the lighting. I think the tones are fantastic. But I would honestly say that if you're going to put this in a portrait gallery, or a gallery for that example, boom, there's your shot. That goes in your portrait gallery. Strongest image of the lot, okay? One thing I will say is that I would say that the center line is probably about here. She's skewed slightly to the right. So I would maybe just crop this corner down just a hair, just to center her because of the way that this picture is framed if I were to take it to the next level. That's a neat shot. This is cool, although I'm not sure about that focus. I get that this is a whole story in here. I don't know with this whole story here. But again, this as its own, as a portrait, I don't know, this is my top pick. So those would be my two from this that I would maybe throw into that portrait gallery. And, band stuff will just pop through here. I dig the Rickenbacker shot. I love like the long neck thing, and the tones are really cool. I think live performance like this, shot from the crowd with somebody's head in there. I don't even know what that is. It's just too hard to see. This guy's out of focus. This stuff is cool, but I think that you really need to just pick like one or two really, really, really intensely slamming shots. Like the Rickenbacker shot, maybe one or two of the performance shots, and kind of leave it to that, because I don't really know if I want to, kind of go through this whole deal. I don't know what that's going to do for me. We'll just check out the personal gallery real quick. Great tones. Not sure what's going on with the face over there, but I dig this shot a lot. I think it's very cool. It's got a really nice vibe to it. But then we go to this shot and like, that's not as cool. It's not as interesting. It's like, so this one really, that stands out. That's a great shot right there. This one doesn't really do much for me, nor does that. This one's very cool. Great lifestyle shot. I could see this, a skateboard company, a t-shirt company, all different kinds of different branding and lifestyle could be derived from this, the road to nowhere type deal. This doesn't do anything for me. The lines are screwed up. The focus is off. There's some other hand over here. That one to me has to go. That has to go. That's not too special. That has to go. That has to go. You know what? A lot of these in here I think are Instagram diary shots where, I'm not even sure. Like her face is so out of focus. Whatever. I think that a lot of these are Instagram diary shots, and much more so than they kind of warrant their own gallery. That's really pretty. I dig that too. Not crazy about these either. And that's just, me. That's just my personal feeling. Honestly, out of this entire lot here, which is a really neat gallery, this needs to be in your portrait gallery, okay? And just build on that really strong stuff in the portrait gallery. Boom. We got some wedding stuff over here. Yeah, weddings, weddings are a good way to do portraits as well. It's a lovely portrait, maybe a little soft over there, et cetera, et cetera. So, what I'm thinking is that we really just need to have a main portrait gallery, and maybe a personal gallery, and then that's it, or just a people gallery and a personal gallery, and just that's it. And then in the blog, that's where we can go and we can elaborate and add a lot more images from some of these shoots, and maybe some behind the scenes, and a little bit more of backstory and stuff like that. Pricing. Well, first of all, don't use a shot that the focus is missed on the eye of the deer as your landing image, and it's kind of a big deal to have to scroll down this huge image just to get to this little bit of text. Maybe offset the image to the right with text to the left. Make it easy for people. Pricing. I'm not crazy about posting pricing on a website, but that's just me. You know, I don't know. I mean, you can say pricing starts at or whatever, or contact me, but I don't know. I think it's all right. Let's just go and see me. Village dog, there's the village dog dude. I don't know if the focus is even tight on here. And, you know, again, you know, it's a cool space wherever the dude is. Glenn Stevenson, husband, father. He lives in Melbourne, Australia. The village dog comes from growing up in Hong Kong. It's a cool story, yada, yada. And then reach out, which is your contact page. That's pretty cool. There's nowhere for a phone number. We probably want a phone number in there. We've got the social media links, which I think are really cool. All right, so yeah, so there we go. All right, so Glenn, I think that your website has tremendous potential. I think you've got a really terrific eye. I think you've got a great eye for composition. I think you've got a great eye for light. I think that you've got access to a lot of really interesting people to photograph. So what I think that needs to happen now is that because you've got all of those raw elements and you've got a really solid basis, is that you got to figure out why you're missing focus on some of these images. I know, you know, it can be, like, look, to me, it's a big deal. And I think it's one of those things that is just a transition. Now look, I wear reading glasses because I need them to be able to see that the back of my camera, like if I look through the lens of the camera, when I'm looking through the viewfinder, my vision is perfect. But when I look on the back of the camera to check things, I cannot tell 100% if things are tack sharp without my glasses. And even the back of the camera is way, way, way forgiving because everything is very small and contrasty and things look a lot sharper when they're smaller. Now when you get home onto your computer, if things are soft or fuzzy or you're not seeing it, maybe it's just as simple as just a pair of reading glasses. Not a big deal, it happens. So there you go. So again, thanks for submitting your website. I really enjoyed looking at your work. I would love to see how it evolves with some you know, in the future. If any of you guys want to submit your site, remember, just send or submit your website with the link below. Don't forget, save 10% on a year of Squarespace with the code ADAM, squarespace.com/Adam. That's it for now, and we'll see you soon.